Experiencing rejection can be a bitter pill to swallow, often leaving us feeling defeated and questioning our self-worth. It's natural to feel disheartened when our efforts are met with a cold, "Thank you for your interest, but," or when our dreams slip through our fingers. However, what if we changed our perspective on rejection? What if, instead of seeing it as a roadblock, we viewed it as a hidden doorway, a chance to learn, grow, and achieve even greater things? This is where the power of reverse psychology comes in. By reframing rejection, we can use it as a signal that we're on the right track, daring to dream big, and pushing ourselves beyond our comfort zones. By understanding the reasons behind rejection and separating it from our inherent value, we can empower ourselves and foster a newfound sense of control and inner strength. To further enhance our emotional resilience, we can turn to the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. This ancient philosophy, championed by Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, equips us with the tools to handle rejection with grace and dignity. By focusing on the things within our control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, and letting go of the externals, the world around us, and the opinions of others, we can develop a calm and collected mind. This allows us to see rejection as a valuable lesson, an opportunity for growth, and ultimately, a stepping stone on the path to achieving our wildest dreams. In this video, we'll delve deep into the surprising power of transforming rejection from a foe into a powerful ally. We'll explore the fascinating world of reverse psychology and how it can be used to reframe rejection. We'll also weave in the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, equipping us with the tools for emotional resilience and empowering us to see rejection as a valuable lesson and an opportunity for growth. So, join us as we flip the script on rejection and turn it into a catalyst for success. 1. Hook into reality. Ever felt the sting of rejection, like a punch to the gut, leaving you questioning your worth? Imagine this scenario. You've invested weeks of blood, sweat, and tears into crafting the perfect proposal for your dream client. You've poured your heart and soul into the document, convinced that it's a winner. And then the email arrives. Polite yet generic rejection. The air feels heavy, and a familiar wave of self-doubt washes over you, making you question your abilities and worth. Rejection, whether it's a job application you pinned all your hopes on, a relationship that seemed promising, or a social circle that feels impenetrable, can be a crushing blow. It throws our self-worth into question, making us want to retreat and lick our wounds. We start to wonder if we're good enough, if we're worthy of success and happiness. But what if we viewed rejection not as a personal indictment, but as a cryptic message, a redirection sign in the grand scheme of things? What if we saw it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve? This is where Stoicism comes in, an ancient philosophy championed by Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Stoicism doesn't advocate for emotional suppression. It's about acknowledging your feelings and then learning to manage them effectively. In the face of rejection, Stoicism offers a powerful lesson. Focus on what you control and let go of what you don't. You can't control the outcome of a proposal, the feelings of another person, or the dynamics of a social group. However, you have complete dominion over your own thoughts, reactions, and the direction you choose to move forward in. This Stoic principle transforms rejection from a demoralizing dead end into a valuable opportunity for self-discovery. Instead of wallowing in disappointment, you can dissect the situation, identify areas for improvement, and use that knowledge to refine your approach. Did the client's feedback reveal a gap in your skill set? Perhaps the relationship dissolved due to incompatible values. Unearthing these underlying reasons empowers you to make adjustments and approach future endeavors with a clearer vision. Rejection becomes a chance to learn, to evolve, and ultimately to become a stronger, more well-rounded individual. You can use this experience to refine your skills, adjust your approach, and come back stronger. This newfound control over your thoughts and reactions fosters resilience, allowing you to bounce back from setbacks with greater ease. Furthermore, this perspective shift allows you to view rejection as a natural part of the journey towards achieving your goals. Just as an experienced traveler expects occasional detours on the road, you can learn to accept that some rejections are inevitable. The key is to maintain a positive outlook, glean wisdom from the experience, and keep moving forward with unwavering determination. Think of the countless successful people who've faced countless rejections. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter manuscript was rejected by a staggering 12 publishers before finding its home. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination. These individuals didn't let rejection define them. Instead, they used it as fuel to propel them forward, ultimately achieving remarkable success. By embracing the Stoic approach, you too can harness the power of rejection and transform it into a stepping stone on your path to achieving your greatest ambitions. Rejection, when viewed through the lens of Stoicism, becomes not a roadblock, but a hidden doorway, a chance to learn, grow, and ultimately achieve even greater things. 2. Stoic Foundations. Let's delve into the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, guided by the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, to navigate rejection's turbulent waters. Life throws its fair share of curveballs, and rejection, in all its stinging varieties, stands tall among them. A dream job application lands with a thud in the rejected pile. A creative pursuit meets with a deafening silence. A romantic interest politely declines your advances. These moments, big or small, can leave us feeling exposed, inadequate, and questioning our worth. But what if we could reframe rejection not as a personal failure, but as a powerful tool for growth? This is where the timeless wisdom of Stoicism, embodied by figures like Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, steps in. Stoicism, at its core, teaches us about the dichotomy of control. We expend an enormous amount of energy fretting over things outside our domain, the decisions of others, the whims of fate, and the ever-shifting tides of external validation. Rejection thrives in this realm. We can't control whether someone chooses us, accepts our work, or aligns with our vision. Yet, what we can control is how we react, interpret, and ultimately leverage this experience. By meticulously focusing on what lies within our influence, our actions, thoughts, and interpretations, we empower ourselves to navigate the landscape of potential rejection with poise and a proactive mindset.
Imagine a schile d'archer.
Her focus is laser-sharp, trained on the target. External factors like wind gusts or an uneven stance become secondary concerns. Similarly, Stoicism encourages us to hone our internal skills. We can refine our craft, polish our communication, and persistently cultivate the qualities that make us valuable contributors. By directing our energy inwards, we build a robust sense of self-reliance that becomes armor against the sting of rejection. Stoicism goes beyond mere control, however. It delves into the realm of emotional management. Rejection often triggers a cascade of negative emotions. Disappointment, frustration, anger. These are valid human responses. However, Stoicism doesn't advocate for suppressing emotions. Instead, it guides us towards acknowledging them without succumbing to their control. We can allow ourselves to feel the sting of rejection, but then actively choose a more empowering path. We could analyze the situation objectively, seeking areas for improvement. Perhaps the job application didn't highlight our most relevant skills, or maybe the creative project needs a different angle. Alternatively, we might simply accept that things didn't align as planned and move forward with equanimity. This acceptance isn't passive resignation. It's a conscious choice to embrace amor fati, the Stoic concept of love of fate. Amor fati encourages us to view life's experiences, both joyful and challenging, as part of a grander tapestry. Rejection, then, loses its power to define us as failures. Instead, it becomes a redirection, a nudge towards a path that might hold greater potential for fulfillment. Perhaps the job you didn't get leads you towards a more fulfilling career, or the creative pursuit that fell flat opens doors to a more resonant artistic expression. By embracing amor fati, we transform rejection from a source of resentment into a catalyst for positive change. Finally, Stoicism reminds us of the bedrock of self-worth. Our value isn't contingent upon external validation. Rejection might sting, but it doesn't diminish who we are at our core. By focusing on our strengths, nurturing our talents, and living according to our own values, we cultivate an unshakable sense of self-confidence. We become less susceptible to the emotional turmoil of external judgments because our sense of worth stems from within. This inner compass guides us through the inevitable rejections of life, allowing us to emerge stronger, wiser, and with a deeper understanding of ourselves. The Stoic embrace of rejection isn't about avoiding it altogether. It's about viewing it as a necessary ingredient in the recipe for personal growth. By learning from our setbacks, fostering resilience, and maintaining a healthy perspective on self-worth, we can transform rejection from a roadblock into a stepping stone on the path to a truly fulfilling life. The next time you face rejection, remember the wisdom of Stoicism. It's not about softening the blow, but about harnessing its power to propel you forward on your own unique journey. 3. Understanding external forces. Explore instances where rejection lies beyond your grasp, like vying for opportunities in fiercely competitive environments. Rejection is an experience we've all encountered at some point in our lives, leaving us feeling disheartened and questioning our abilities. It's a universal sting that can deflate even the most confident among us. But what if I told you that rejection could be reframed from a demoralizing setback to a guiding compass? This is where Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in reason and resilience, comes into play, offering us a transformative perspective on how we perceive and navigate rejection, especially in fiercely competitive environments. Picture this. You've set your sights on a coveted position at a prestigious company. You've poured your heart into crafting the perfect application, aced the interview with confidence, and yet, the dreaded rejection email lands in your inbox. Initially, it's like a punch to the gut, the bridge of hope you meticulously built suddenly collapsing beneath you. But here's the thing, wallowing in disappointment won't change the outcome. The decision, influenced by a myriad of external factors beyond your control, wasn't a reflection of your worth or abilities. By acknowledging these external forces, we prevent rejection from morphing into a self-fulfilling prophecy, a narrative of our own inadequacy. Instead, we redirect our focus to what we can control: our actions and reactions. Every rejection holds within it a trove of valuable insights waiting to be unearthed. Did certain interview questions catch you off guard? Could you have better showcased your unique strengths? By dissecting the experience with the precision of a detective at a crime scene, we gain invaluable lessons to refine our approach for future endeavors. Moreover, viewing rejection through the lens of external forces allows us to see it not as a dead end, but as a redirection. Missing out on one opportunity doesn't discount your qualifications. It merely suggests that another path might be a better fit. Perhaps there's a company whose culture aligns more closely with your values, or a role that allows you to utilize your skills in a more impactful way. Rejection, in this light, becomes a catalyst for self-discovery, urging us to explore new avenues and uncover possibilities we may not have considered before. And let's not forget the resilience that comes with embracing external forces. Recognizing that rejection is often par for the course, especially in competitive environments, shields us from succumbing to discouragement. It equips us with a mental armor, enabling us to bounce back with greater resilience, maintain a positive outlook, and approach the next opportunity with renewed determination. This resilience, born from understanding that rejection is a temporary setback rather than a permanent failure, is the cornerstone of success in any endeavor. In essence, Stoicism teaches us to navigate the landscape of rejection with grace and purpose. By acknowledging the factors beyond our control, we safeguard our self-esteem and channel our energy into self-improvement. Rejection becomes a valuable learning experience, propelling us forward on our journey toward success, undeterred by setbacks. So the next time you face rejection, remember, it's not the end of the road, but a detour leading you closer to your ultimate destination. 4. Embracing detachment. Learn to untangle your self-esteem from external validation, shielding yourself from the emotional whirlwind of rejection. Let's dive into this fascinating topic of embracing detachment and using rejection to our advantage. We've all been there, we've all experienced that crushing feeling of rejection, whether it's in our personal or professional lives. Maybe it's a romantic relationship that didn't work out, a job interview that didn't go our way, or even a social media post that didn't get the likes and comments we were hoping for. Whatever the case, rejection can be a tough pill to swallow, and it's easy to let it define our self-worth. We've all been in situations where we felt like we're not good enough, smart enough, or talented enough, simply because someone or something didn't validate us. By the way, when we tie our self-esteem to external validation, we're essentially giving others the power to dictate how we feel about ourselves. We're saying, hey, if you like me, then I must be worthy. But what happens when that validation isn't there? We're left feeling lost, unworthy, and unsure of ourselves. We start to question our abilities, our choices, and even our identities. We begin to wonder if we're good enough, if we're worthy of love, respect, and success. And that's a dangerous game to play, because when we tie our self-worth to external validation, we're setting ourselves up for a lifetime of uncertainty and self-doubt. And what if we could break free from that cycle? What if we could learn to detach our self-esteem from external validation and instead find our worth from within? Think about it. When we're no longer tied to the opinions of others, we're free to pursue our passions and goals without fear of rejection holding us back. We're more confident, more resilient, and more likely to take risks and push ourselves outside of our comfort zones. We're more likely to try new things, to explore new opportunities, and to chase our dreams without apology. And that's where the real growth happens. That's where we start to see real progress and achievement. So how do we do this? How do we learn to detach and use rejection to our advantage? Well, for starters, we need to recognize that rejection is a natural part of life. It's going to happen no matter how hard we try to avoid it. But instead of letting it define us, we can use it as an opportunity to learn and grow. We can ask ourselves, what can we learn from this experience? Or, what can we do differently next time? By focusing on the lesson rather than the rejection itself, we're shifting our mindset and turning what could be a negative experience into a positive one. We're taking back control of our own self-perception, and that's incredibly empowering. Now, we know this is easier said than done. It takes practice, patience, and self-awareness to detach our self-esteem from external validation. It takes courage to face our fears, to acknowledge our weaknesses, and to work on our shortcomings. But trust us, it's worth it. When we're no longer tied to the opinions of others, we're free to be ourselves, without apology or pretension. We're free to pursue our passions, to chase our dreams, and to live a life that's true to who we are. And that's the most liberating feeling in the world. Then, when we face rejection, let's try something different. Instead of beating ourselves up over it or letting it define our self-worth, let's try to see it as an opportunity. Let's ask ourselves what we can learn from the experience and how we can use it to grow and improve. Let's focus on the lesson rather than the rejection itself. Let's take a step back, take a deep breath, and remind ourselves that we are more than our failures, more than our mistakes, and more than our rejections. We are capable, we are strong, and we are worthy regardless of what others may think. 5. Reinterpreting rejection. Discover the transformative power of viewing rejection as a springboard for growth, rather than a barrier to success. Most people view rejection as a negative experience, something to be feared and avoided at all costs. But what if I told you that rejection can actually be a powerful catalyst for growth and improvement? It's all about how you choose to view it. When you reframe rejection as feedback, you start to see it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Instead of getting discouraged and giving up, you can use rejection as a chance to refine your approach, identify areas for improvement, and come back stronger. Think about it like this. Every no brings you closer to the yes you're looking for. Every rejection is a chance to gather valuable insights, make adjustments, and try again with renewed confidence and determination. By shifting your mindset in this way, you can turn what would otherwise be a setback into a stepping stone for success. History offers a treasure trove of examples where rejection fueled remarkable achievements. Look no further than Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher from the 1st century AD. His life itself was a testament to overcoming adversity. Born into slavery in Rome, he faced hardship and rejection as a constant companion. One particularly poignant story exemplifies his approach. Assigned to a notoriously harsh master, Epictetus endured relentless criticism and belittlement. Most would crumble under such pressure, but Epictetus saw it differently. He viewed the situation as a training ground for his Stoic principles. the master's negativity became a crucible, a test of his patience and resilience. Epictetus understood a core Stoic tenet, the dichotomy of control. He couldn't control his master's behavior, but he could control his own response. Instead of succumbing to anger or despair, he focused on what he could influence, his actions and reactions. He used the constant criticism to refine his skills, striving for excellence regardless of the negativity. This experience became a cornerstone of Epictetus' philosophy. He emphasized the importance of distinguishing between external circumstances and our internal world. The master's behavior was an external force, beyond his influence. However, Epictetus' thoughts, actions, and reactions were entirely within his control. By focusing on this controllable aspect, he transformed rejection into a tool for self-improvement. Epictetus' story embodies the Stoic idea that challenges, even those as harsh as rejection, can be opportunities for growth. It illustrates the power of perspective. By reframing rejection as a redirection sign, a chance to adjust our sails, we can transform it from a source of discouragement to a catalyst for positive change. Just like Epictetus, we can use rejection to refine our skills, strengthen our character, and ultimately, achieve our goals. So, how do you start to view rejection as feedback? The first step is to acknowledge that rejection is a natural part of the journey to achieving your goals. It's not a reflection of your worth as a person, but rather an indication that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone and taking risks. When you receive a no, take a step back, take a deep breath, and try to identify what you can learn from the experience. Ask yourself questions like, what could I have done differently? What can I improve on for next time? Or, what did I learn about myself and my approach? By doing so, you'll start to see rejection as a valuable learning experience rather than a source of discouragement. We know what you might be thinking, but it still hurts to get rejected. And you're right, it's okay to feel disappointed or frustrated when things don't go your way. However, the key is to not let those emotions hold you back. Instead, use them as fuel to drive you forward. Remember, every successful person has experienced rejection at some point in their journey. J.K. Rowling, the author of Harry Potter, was rejected 12 times before one publisher finally said yes. Stephen King's novel, Carrie, was rejected 30 times. The point is, rejection is not a reflection of your potential or talent. It's simply a bump in the road that can be overcome with persistence and determination. Instead of beating yourself up over it, take a deep breath and say, "Thank you for the feedback." View it as an opportunity to learn, grow, and come back stronger. Remember, every no brings you closer to the yes you're looking for. And when you finally do get that yes, you'll be able to look back on all the rejections that came before it and say, "Wow, I'm so glad I didn't give up." By reframing rejection as feedback, you'll be unstoppable. You'll be using rejection to your favor, and that's a powerful place to be. 6. Mindset dynamics. Explore the dichotomy between growth and fixed mindsets, shaping your response to rejection. Are setbacks stumbling blocks or stepping stones? We would be happy to explain the difference between a growth mindset and a fixed mindset and how they impact handling rejection. First, let's define what we mean by a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that one's abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Individuals with a growth mindset embrace challenges, persist in the face of setbacks, and view effort as the path to mastery. On the other hand, a fixed mindset is the belief that one's abilities and intelligence are fixed traits that cannot be changed. Individuals with a fixed mindset avoid challenges, give up easily when faced with obstacles, and see effort as a sign of lack of ability. Now, let's talk about how these mindsets impact handling rejection. Rejection is a natural part of life, and everyone experiences it at some point. However, how we handle rejection can have a significant impact on our success and well-being. Individuals with a fixed mindset are more likely to view rejection as a reflection of their fixed traits, such as their intelligence or abilities. They may believe that rejection means they are not smart enough, talented enough, or simply not good enough. As a result, they may feel defensive, embarrassed, or ashamed, and may avoid taking risks or putting themselves in situations where they might experience rejection. On the other hand, individuals with a growth mindset are more likely to view rejection as an opportunity for growth and learning. They understand that rejection is not a reflection of their fixed traits, but rather a result of specific circumstances or factors that can be improved upon. They may feel disappointed or frustrated, but they are also motivated to learn from the experience and use it to improve their skills and abilities. And then, how can we use rejection to our favor? Here are a few strategies. Embrace a growth mindset. Cultivate a growth mindset by focusing on the process of learning and improvement, rather than the outcome. View rejection as an opportunity to learn and grow, rather than a reflection of your fixed traits. Practice self-compassion. Be kind and understanding towards yourself when you experience rejection. Remember that rejection is a natural part of life, and it does not define your worth or abilities. Reframe rejection as feedback. Instead of viewing rejection as a personal attack, try to see it as feedback on your skills or performance. Use this feedback to identify areas for improvement and take action to address them. Take calculated risks. Don't let the fear of rejection hold you back from taking risks and pursuing your goals. Recognize that rejection is a natural part of the process, and that each rejection brings you one step closer to success. Surround yourself with supportive people. Seek out supportive relationships with people who believe in your potential and encourage you to take risks and grow. Avoid negative influences who may reinforce a fixed mindset and discourage you from pursuing your goals. By adopting a growth mindset and using rejection as an opportunity for growth and learning, you can turn rejection into a powerful tool for success. 7. Taking charge post-rejection. Harness the energy of rejection to fuel your determination, propelling yourself forward with newfound resilience. Think of the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, a man born into slavery. Imagine him chained to a heavy millstone, forced to labor under the harsh Roman sun. Rejection, for Epictetus, wasn't a concept confined to job applications or artistic pursuits. It was the very fabric of his existence. Yet, his writings, compiled by his student Arrian, resonate with a profound sense of inner peace and unwavering resilience. How did Epictetus achieve this remarkable feat? The answer lies in the core tenets of Stoicism, a philosophy that can transform even the most stinging rejection into a potent force for growth. Stoicism revolves around the concept of the dichotomy of control. Simply put, it emphasizes the distinction between things we can control and things we cannot. Epictetus, chained to his millstone, understood this principle intimately. He couldn't control the fact of his slavery, the harshness of his labor, or the whims of his master. However, he could control his internal world, his thoughts, his reactions, and his overall perspective. Imagine Epictetus, after a particularly brutal day, contemplating his situation. He might analyze, rejection, in this case, is the external reality of my servitude. It's outside my control. But how I react to it with anger, despair, or acceptance is entirely within my domain. This introspection becomes the spark that ignites his personal growth. Stoicism champions the pursuit of virtue, living a life guided by reason and logic. Rejection, then, becomes a crucible that tests one's character. Can Epictetus face the indignity of his situation with composure? Can he use it to cultivate virtues like patience, fortitude, and self-discipline? By choosing to learn from the experience, by focusing on what he can control, Epictetus demonstrates his commitment to Stoic values. This focus on internal control empowers him to find meaning even in his seemingly powerless situation. He can choose to see the hardship as an opportunity to strengthen his body and his spirit. He can hone his mental focus, perhaps even using the rhythmic clang of the millstone as a meditation aid. Rejection, in this light, becomes a mere inconvenience, a bump on the road to personal growth. The lessons of Epictetus extend far beyond the confines of Roman slavery. We all face rejection in various forms: a job application denial, a failed relationship, a creative project met with indifference. The Stoic perspective equips us to navigate these challenges with grace and purpose. By acknowledging what we cannot control and focusing on what we can, our reactions, our learning, and our growth, we transform rejection from a roadblock into a stepping stone. It becomes an unexpected teacher, pushing us to refine our skills, adjust our approach, and ultimately, become the best versions of ourselves. So, the next time rejection stings, remember Epictetus. Remember the power of Stoic philosophy to empower you to rise above external circumstances and forge your own path towards a life of virtue and resilience. 8. Fostering positivity. Equip yourself with strategies to cultivate optimism and resilience, even when faced with adversity. Let's talk about maintaining a positive attitude, especially when faced with rejection. I mean, it's tough, right? Rejection can be really discouraging, and it's easy to let it get you down. But the thing is, rejection is a natural part of life, and it's how you respond to it that really matters. So, let's dive into some Stoic techniques that can help you cultivate resilience and optimism, even in the face of setbacks. One of the key principles of Stoicism is the concept of focus. When faced with rejection, it's essential to focus on what lies within your control and relinquish what doesn't. You can't dictate how others perceive or respond to you, but you can dictate how you react to rejection. You have the power to choose your response, and that's incredibly empowering. Instead of internalizing the rejection and letting it define your self-worth, try to view it as an opportunity for growth and improvement. Ask yourself, what lessons can I glean from this experience? Or, what adjustments can I make for the future? This mindset shift helps to redirect your focus away from negative emotions and towards constructive solutions. Another valuable technique is the premeditation of evils, a Stoic concept that involves mentally preparing for the worst-case scenario. Imagine yourself facing rejection, and then think about how you would cope and move forward. By mentally rehearsing potential setbacks, you can develop a more resilient mindset and reduce the sting of rejection. It's similar to preparing for a challenging conversation or a critical presentation. You imagine all the things that could go wrong, and then think about how you would handle them. This preparation helps you feel more confident and in control, and it can significantly reduce anxiety levels. The same principle applies to rejection. By mentally preparing for the worst-case scenario, you can develop a plan for moving forward and reduce the emotional impact of rejection. Another crucial aspect of Stoicism is the concept of living in the present moment. When faced with rejection, it's easy to get caught up in regrets about the past or worries about the future. However, dwelling on what could have been or worrying about what might be won't change your current circumstances. Instead, focus on what you can do now to move forward. Seek feedback, learn from your mistakes, and take concrete steps to improve your skills or qualifications. Cultivating gratitude is also essential for maintaining a positive attitude. Take time to reflect on the good things in your life and express appreciation for what you have. This helps to put rejection into perspective and reminds you of the positive aspects of your life. The Stoics believe that gratitude could help shift your focus away from negative emotions and towards a more optimistic outlook. Finally, remember that rejection is an inevitable part of growth and progress. Everyone faces rejection at some point, and it's often a sign that you're taking risks and pushing yourself outside your comfort zone. Instead of viewing rejection as a failure, try to see it as a necessary step on the path to success. By adopting a growth mindset and using rejection as an opportunity to learn and improve, you can turn a setback into a valuable learning experience. 9. Recapping insights. Summarize the 13 crucial lessons learned, empowering viewers to navigate rejection's challenges with Stoic resolve. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, and it's how we respond to it that matters. The Stoics have a lot to teach us about turning rejection into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. First and foremost, we need to recognize that rejection is a natural part of the human experience. It's not a reflection of our worth as individuals, but rather a chance to learn and adapt. The Stoics would say that our emotions and reactions to rejection are what's holding us back, not the rejection itself. So, the first key takeaway is to separate our self-worth from the outcome of a situation. When we're rejected, we tend to take it personally and internalize it, but the Stoics would encourage us to take a step back, breathe, and remind ourselves that it's not a reflection of our inherent value. As Epictetus, a former slave who became a prominent Stoic philosopher, would say, It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This mindset shift can help us approach rejection with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than fear and anxiety. We can ask ourselves questions like, what can I learn from this experience? Or, what would I do differently next time? By focusing on what we can control, rather than getting caught up in negative emotions, we can turn rejection into an opportunity for growth. As Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his Meditations, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Now, let's talk about the importance of resilience in the face of rejection. The Stoics believed that our character is not defined by our successes, but by how we respond to adversity. When we're rejected, we have two options. We can let it break us, or we can use it as an opportunity to grow stronger. The key is to focus on what we can control, which is our reaction to the situation. We can choose to let rejection fuel our determination and motivation, or we can let it defeat us. The Stoics would encourage us to view rejection as a chance to build our resilience, to develop a growth mindset, and to come back stronger and wiser. Take, for example, the story of Theodore Seuss Geisel, better known as Dr. Seuss. He was rejected 27 times before finally getting his first book published. If he had let rejection break him, we might not have the beloved children's author we know today. Instead, he used each rejection as an opportunity to learn and improve, and eventually he achieved his goal. Another crucial lesson from Stoicism is the importance of self-reflection and introspection in the face of rejection. When we're rejected, it's easy to get caught up in negative self-talk and self-doubt. But the Stoics would encourage us to take a step back, reflect on the situation, and identify what we can learn from it. What can we improve on? What skills do we need to develop? What mindset shifts do we need to make? By focusing on what we can control and what we can learn, we can turn rejection into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. As Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." When we're rejected, our imagination can run wild with negative thoughts and fears, but by focusing on the present moment and what we can control, we can overcome these obstacles. We can ask ourselves questions like, what am I grateful for in this situation? Or, what can I learn from this experience that will help me in the future? By focusing on the present and what we can learn, we can turn rejection into a catalyst for growth. Finally, the Stoics would remind us that rejection is an inevitable part of the journey to success. Every successful person has experienced rejection at some point in their journey, but it's how they responded to it that made all the difference. The key is to focus on the process, not the outcome. When we're rejected, we can choose to view it as a setback, or we can see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. By focusing on the process, we can develop a sense of purpose and direction, even in the face of rejection. As Cato, a Stoic philosopher, would say, "I would rather die than fail to fulfill my duty." This sense of purpose and duty can help us stay focused on our goals, even when faced with rejection. We can remind ourselves that every no brings us closer to the yes we're looking for. And when we finally achieve our goals, we'll look back on those moments of rejection as crucial stepping stones on our journey to success. So, the next time you face rejection, remember that it's not a reflection of your worth, but an opportunity to grow, learn, and come back stronger. Ask yourself questions like, what can I learn from this experience? Or, what would I do differently next time? Focus on what you can control, and use rejection as a catalyst for growth and self-improvement. As the Stoics would say, the obstacle is the way. 10. Inspiring action. Encourage viewers to share their own stories and commit to applying Stoic principles in their daily lives, transforming rejection into triumph. We've unpacked the Stoic approach to rejection, turning that frown upside down. But knowledge is only half the battle, right? Now comes the exciting part, putting these principles into action and building your own personal rejection-proofing shield. Imagine yourself surrounded by a community of fellow warriors, all sharing their experiences with rejection and how they used Stoicism to overcome it. That's the power of sharing. By opening up about your own rejections, big or small, you not only gain valuable support, but you also inspire others. Maybe you got rejected from your dream apartment, but you used the Stoic practice of focusing on what you can control, your search criteria, budget, etc., to find an even better place. Share that story. Your experience could be the light bulb moment someone else needs to see rejection in a new light. Remember the Stoic concept of amor fati, the love of fate? It's not about passive acceptance, but rather acknowledging that everything happens for a reason. Sharing your experiences with rejection allows you to reflect on that reason. Maybe that job interview rejection led you to a new career path you never considered, or that failed relationship opened your eyes to the qualities you truly value in a partner. By sharing your story, you can help others see the hidden silver linings in their own rejections. Think about it this way: the more we share our experiences with rejection, the less power it holds over us. It becomes a normal part of the human journey, a badge of honor for those who keep pushing forward. Imagine a forum filled with stories of resilience, of people who took rejection on the chin, learned from it, and came back stronger. That's a powerful source of inspiration, and you can be a part of creating it. Now, Stoicism isn't just about navel-gazing and reflection. It's about applying these principles to your daily life. So, how can you actively practice Stoicism when faced with rejection? Here's a suggestion. The next time you get rejected, take a deep breath and ask yourself some key Stoic questions. Is this rejection truly a reflection of my worth? Or is it simply a circumstance outside my control? What can I learn from this experience? By actively engaging with these questions, you shift your focus from the sting of rejection to the opportunity for growth. And yes, this is a journey, not a destination. Building resilience takes time and practice. But by sharing your experiences, reflecting on setbacks through a Stoic lens, and actively applying these principles, you'll be well on your way to turning rejection into your personal superpower. So, go forth, share your stories, and let's build a community that thrives on resilience and embraces rejection as a stepping stone to an even better future. 11. Injecting humor. Infuse the discussion with humor and levity, reminding viewers that laughter can be a powerful antidote to rejection's sting. As we navigate the complexities of life, we often find ourselves facing rejection in one form or another. It's a natural part of the journey, yet it can be incredibly challenging to deal with. That's why it's essential to develop strategies for coping with rejection, and one of the most effective ways to do so is by incorporating humor into our approach. By adopting a lighthearted perspective, we can transform what might otherwise be a debilitating experience into an opportunity for growth and self-improvement. When we're faced with rejection, our initial reaction is often to take it personally, to feel like we're not good enough or that we've failed in some way. But what if we could shift our focus away from these negative emotions and instead find the humor in the situation? Imagine being able to laugh at ourselves, to poke fun at our own mistakes, and to find the absurdity in the situation. Suddenly, rejection doesn't seem so daunting, does it? By cultivating a sense of humor, we can create a sense of detachment from the situation, and that's where the magic happens. We can start to see that rejection is just a part of the game, and that it's not a reflection of our worth as individuals. The power of humor lies in its ability to reframe our mindset. Instead of viewing rejection as a failure, we can start to see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. We can use humor to take the sting out of rejection and to focus on the bigger picture. And that's where the wisdom of Stoicism comes in. The Stoics believed in the power of reason, self-control, and inner strength, and humor can be a powerful tool in cultivating those qualities. By embracing a lighthearted approach, we can start to see that rejection is just a minor setback on the path to our goals. We can use it as a chance to regroup, to refocus, and to come back stronger than before. One of the most significant benefits of using humor to cope with rejection is that it allows us to maintain a sense of perspective. When we're able to laugh at ourselves and find the humor in a situation, we're better equipped to keep things in perspective. We're less likely to get bogged down in negative emotions and more likely to focus on the bigger picture. And that's essential for achieving our goals. By maintaining a sense of humor, we can stay motivated, stay focused, and stay committed to our objectives. So, the next time we face rejection, let's try something different. Instead of getting bogged down in negative thoughts and emotions, let's try to find the humor in the situation. Let's laugh at ourselves, poke fun at our mistakes, and use humor to lighten the mood. By doing so, we'll be amazed at how quickly our mindset shifts. We'll start to see that rejection is just a part of the journey, and that it's not a reflection of our worth as individuals. And that, my friends, is the key to using rejection to our advantage. 12. Ensuring excellence. Maintain high production standards, captivating viewers with engaging visuals and clear audio throughout. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus wisely said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When that rejection hits, you have a powerful choice. Crumble under the weight of disappointment, or use it as a springboard to propel yourself forward. Here's the thing, focusing on high-quality production isn't just about bells and whistles. It's about channeling that initial sting of rejection into something positive. Imagine pouring your heart and soul into a project, a presentation, a piece of writing, whatever your creative battleground. You refine it, polish it, until it gleams like a knight's armor. Then, rejection. It's a gut punch, sure. But instead of letting it knock you flat, you take a deep breath and turn your gaze inward. Think about it like this. Seneca, another Stoic giant, once pondered, "What is the greatest obstacle to living a good life?" His answer? It is the expectation of a good life. Rejection can be a harsh reminder that the world doesn't always bend to our desires. But what if, instead of clinging to those desires, we focused on the present moment? What if we channeled that frustration into creating something truly exceptional, something that transcends the need for immediate validation? Here's where the magic happens. As Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor-philosopher, put it, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Rejection, that initial roadblock, can become the catalyst for growth. It forces us to reevaluate, to refine, to push ourselves further. It's like a sculptor taking a hammer to a seemingly perfect block of marble, uncovering a hidden masterpiece within. The power of high-quality production lies in this transformation. It shifts your mindset from, "Woe is me," to, "Watch me grow." Each rejection becomes a polished stone on the path to mastery. You learn from the feedback, identify areas for improvement, and come back stronger. This is the essence of Stoicism, cultivating inner strength and resilience through reason and self-control. Remember Chrysippus, another Stoic heavyweight? He believed, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Rejection can be a turning point. You can choose to dwell on it, letting it define you, or you can choose to see it as a chance to rewrite your narrative. By focusing on high-quality production, you're not just creating something impressive, you're building an armor of resilience, one polished detail at a time. We're all trying to achieve our goals, and we're bound to face rejection at some point or another. It's an inevitable part of the journey to success. But here's the thing, most of the time, those rejections are just minor setbacks that don't truly matter in the grand scheme of things. They're just speed bumps on the road to success. And yet, so often, we let those rejections get to us. We let them discourage us, demotivate us, and even make us question our own abilities. But what if we told ourselves that there's a way to rise above those minor rejections? What if we told ourselves that we can not only overcome them but actually use them to our advantage? That's exactly what embracing indifference is all about. It's about recognizing that those rejections are just a normal part of the process, and that they don't define our worth or our abilities. It's about developing a sense of detachment from the outcome so that we can focus on what really matters: our goals, our vision, and our values. When we embrace indifference, we're no longer held back by fear of rejection. We're free to take risks, to experiment, and to push ourselves to new heights. The Stoics knew a thing or two about embracing indifference. Take Epictetus, for example. He was a former slave who became one of the most influential philosophers of his time. He knew a thing or two about overcoming adversity, and yet he didn't let his past define him. He didn't let the rejections and setbacks of his life hold him back. Instead, he used them as fuel to drive him forward. He wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's the essence of embracing indifference. We're not controlled by external events. We're controlled by our own reactions to those events. We can learn a lot from the Stoics when it comes to embracing indifference. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. He was a Roman emperor who ruled with wisdom and justice. But he was also a philosopher who knew that true power comes from within. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles and rejections are not obstacles at all. They're opportunities in disguise. When we embrace indifference, we start to see rejections as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to come back stronger. So, how do we put this into practice? Well, the next time we face rejection, we can try this. Take a deep breath, acknowledge the feeling of disappointment or frustration, and then let it go. Remind ourselves that this rejection is just a minor setback, and that it doesn't define our worth or our abilities. Focus on what we can control, which is our response to the rejection. Ask ourselves, what can we learn from this experience? Or, what can we do differently next time? And then take action. Take action towards our goals, towards our vision, and towards our values. Remember, every no brings us closer to the yes we're looking for. We can also learn from the concept of negative visualization in Stoicism. This involves imagining ourselves in difficult situations, including rejection and failure. By visualizing ourselves in those situations, we can prepare ourselves for the worst-case scenario and develop a sense of detachment from the outcome. We can say to ourselves, "Okay, I got rejected, so what? I'll just try again, and again, and again until I succeed." This mindset helps us to focus on what we can control, which is our own efforts and attitudes, rather than external events. In the end, embracing indifference is about cultivating a mindset of resilience, of grit, and of determination. It's about recognizing that rejection is just a part of the game, and that it's not a reflection of our worth as people. When we can rise above those minor rejections, we'll be amazed at what we can achieve. We'll be unstoppable, my friend. We'll be unstoppable. 13. Embracing equanimity. Encourage the embrace of indifference towards minor rejections, focusing energy on what truly matters in the grand scheme of things. We're all trying to achieve our goals, and we're bound to face rejection at some point or another. It's an inevitable part of the journey to success. But here's the thing, most of the time those rejections are just minor setbacks that don't truly matter in the grand scheme of things. They're just speed bumps on the road to success. And yet, so often, we let those rejections get to us. We let them discourage us, demotivate us, and even make us question our own abilities. But what if we told ourselves that there's a way to rise above those minor rejections? What if we told ourselves that we can not only overcome them but actually use them to our advantage? That's exactly what embracing indifference is all about. It's about recognizing that those rejections are just a normal part of the process, and that they don't define our worth or our abilities. It's about developing a sense of detachment from the outcome so that we can focus on what really matters: our goals, our vision, and our values. When we embrace indifference, we're no longer held back by fear of rejection. We're free to take risks, to experiment, and to push ourselves to new heights. The Stoics knew a thing or two about embracing indifference. Take Epictetus, for example. He was a former slave who became one of the most influential philosophers of his time. He knew a thing or two about overcoming adversity, and yet he didn't let his past define him. He didn't let the rejections and setbacks of his life hold him back. Instead, he used them as fuel to drive him forward. He wrote, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." That's the essence of embracing indifference. We're not controlled by external events. We're controlled by our own reactions to those events. We can learn a lot from the Stoics when it comes to embracing indifference. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example. He was a Roman emperor who ruled with wisdom and justice. But he was also a philosopher who knew that true power comes from within. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, obstacles and rejections are not obstacles at all. They're opportunities in disguise. When we embrace indifference, we start to see rejections as opportunities to learn, to grow, and to come back stronger. So, how do we put this into practice? Well, the next time we face rejection, we can try this. Take a deep breath, acknowledge the feeling of disappointment or frustration, and then let it go. Remind ourselves that this rejection is just a minor setback and that it doesn't define our worth or our abilities. Focus on what we can control, which is our response to the rejection. Ask ourselves, what can we learn from this experience? Or, what can we do differently next time? And then take action. Take action towards our goals, towards our vision, and towards our values. Remember, every no brings us closer to the yes we're looking for. We can also learn from the concept of negative visualization in Stoicism. This involves imagining ourselves in difficult situations, including rejection and failure. By visualizing ourselves in those situations, we can prepare ourselves for the worst-case scenario and develop a sense of detachment from the outcome. We can say to ourselves, okay, I got rejected, so what? I'll just try again, and again, and again until I succeed. This mindset helps us to focus on what we can control, which is our own efforts and attitudes, rather than external events. In the end, embracing indifference is about cultivating a mindset of resilience, of grit, and of determination. It's about recognizing that rejection is just a part of the game, and that it's not a reflection of our worth as people. When we can rise above those minor rejections, we'll be amazed at what we can achieve. We'll be unstoppable, my friend. We'll be unstoppable. As we conclude this video on reverse psychology and the power of rejection, it's essential to reflect on the profound wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who so eloquently stated, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This Stoic philosophy is at the heart of our exploration today, where we've delved into the counterintuitive concept of embracing rejection as a catalyst for growth and success. By recognizing that obstacles and setbacks are an inherent part of our journey, we can begin to see them not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to pivot, adapt, and ultimately to thrive. By adopting this mindset, we can transform what would otherwise be debilitating rejections into stepping stones for personal and professional development. The 13 lessons we've covered today offer a comprehensive roadmap for harnessing the power of rejection to our advantage. From recognizing the value of no as a catalyst for creativity, to leveraging the door-in-the-face technique to our advantage, each lesson provides a unique perspective on how to turn rejection into a driving force for success. By internalizing these principles, we can begin to view rejection not as a source of fear or anxiety, but as a natural part of the growth process. This shift in perspective is crucial, as it allows us to approach challenges with a sense of curiosity and openness, rather than fear and resistance. As we integrate these lessons into our daily lives, we'll find ourselves becoming more resilient, more resourceful, and more adept at navigating the inevitable setbacks that arise on our path to success. One of the most significant takeaways from our exploration of reverse psychology is the importance of reframing our mindset around rejection. Rather than viewing rejection as a personal failure or a reflection of our worth, we can begin to see it as a natural part of the learning process. By doing so, we can liberate ourselves from the fear of rejection and instead focus on the opportunities that arise from each no. This mindset shift is critical, as it allows us to approach challenges with a sense of freedom and creativity, rather than constraint and anxiety. As we adopt this perspective, we'll find ourselves becoming more confident, more innovative, and more effective in our pursuits. In conclusion, the art of using rejection to our favor is a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. By embracing the principles of reverse psychology and Stoicism, we can transform what would otherwise be debilitating setbacks into catalysts for success. As we move forward, remember that rejection is not something to be feared, but rather, it's an opportunity to pivot, adapt, and ultimately to thrive. By integrating the 13 lessons outlined today into our daily lives, we'll find ourselves becoming more resilient, more resourceful, and more effective in our pursuits. Thank you so much for watching, and let's discover more Stoic lessons in the next video together.